Oh, what's up, creeps? Thank you for tuning in to Channel 99 today. I've got with us The Sky Burns Brighter. They're are they like a punk metal band? They're dope.
I'd call them like I would say probably like an alternative rock band.
Okay.
That's the best way I could put what they sound like.
Yeah. Though they're good.
They got influence of pop punk, like heavier rock. They got some screaming sometimes. I just call it alternative rock probably.
Hell yeah. And those of you who are listening and recognize this voice, I know your panties are wet.
No,
those of you who don't recognize this voice, it means you're not a fan as of yet, and you will be a fan because this is Blake. He is the singer of We Were Giants, one of my favorite bands. We've got many episodes with him, Logan, also Scott, their manager, and Logan's their screamer for the band. So make sure you check those out. Those are some of the more popular episodes that I published. In fact, they are the more popular episodes I published. You guys are great content, and it definitely translates to today. I think these guys were awesome. Andrew, he's the singer of the band, also the lead guitarist. He gets down at the end and he plays our outro, which was awesome. It's an original song by these guys, and I'm always humbled when somebody comes in to the studio and offers up their talent, and that's exactly what these guys did. They're very professional, they're very mature in their craft, and you will definitely know that by the end. And my testament holds true for sure, man. So
Absolutely.
Anything else you got to any shout outs or anything?
Yeah, man. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this episode. They kind of just talk about just how they kind of formed and just how, they are in general is just friends. And I think, it's definitely very informative. And I think, like I said before, everybody's really going to dig it. So
Hell yeah. Make sure that you follow these guys. They pitched that at the end of the episode. Follow them on all their social media. Make sure that you follow Channel 99. We are everywhere. Spotify, iTunes, anything. Give us 5 stars. Share the episode. Subscribe wherever it is. And make sure that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.
Shut up and sit down.
Now, what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into Channel 99. We've got with us today The Sky Burns Brighter from Boise. Am I correct?
Yeah,
Close enough, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So these guys recently released a new single back on the 30th of October. Was there a reason why you decided to release it on that day?
Yes.
Why is that?
So the song, the lyrics are about the movie The Crow.
Okay.
And The Crow takes place on Halloween / October 30th, like Devil's Night. And so when we first started recording the EP, we had this idea of, what if we got one song done super quick and released it as, a single on October 30th? Let's do 30 hours. And,
I used to hate that song, by the way.
I think there was
there
was tension over that song from the
I
get-go.
hated that song, dude.
So that song kind of came to be because we kind of just threw our names at the X Games as wouldn't it be cool if we had no expectation of actually getting picked?
Yeah.
So then they hit us up and we had maybe 30 minutes worth of material and they wanted us to play a 55-minute set. So I was like, oh, well, I have a song. You're all gonna learn it.
We're gonna
play it.
We're gonna do it right now.
Yeah. So it was kind of intimidating because it was going to be our first big show.
Did we even play it there?
We didn't know.
We didn't.
We ended up only getting a 45-minute set after all.
Okay.
We didn't play it till the Olympic.
Yeah. we were gonna play it at
That's
your
right.
niece's graduation party.
Yeah, that's right.
Which was like our first show, and then we were gonna play it at the X Games, and then we were gonna play it at the Boise Music Festival, and then we were like, let's just not.
Dude, I just hated, like, basically, I hated that song just because, I mean, it was, like, a cool idea and shit, and I'm not, like, dissing you
No,
or
for sure.
anything. Like, this is dope. Like, I fucking love that song now, dude. I
Yeah.
listen to that shit
We all listened to that
way
song.
too fucking much.
Repeat.
Yeah,
But
it was like.
I mean, now, dude, like, at first, man, I was just like, what the fuck is the chorus and the verse and, like,
Yeah.
anything else? And now it's just, yeah, now it's dope as fuck. So
But yeah,
I
so
got
we
that
wanted
shit
to
figured out.
we wanted to release that song on the 30th just because of like the tie-ins with the Crow, and everything like that.
Shout out to Brandon Lee.
Yeah, rest in peace, man.
R.I.P. homie.
He
That was a
died
sad
during
story.
the making of that movie.
Yeah, he got shot.
A prop gun went off and like actually discharged.
Oh, no
And he
shit.
got shot and fucking died.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, no, somebody like placed like a legit charge when it should have been a blank.
Yeah.
And he got shot on set in the filming of it. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know.
no,
I haven't
that's-
researched
so I
that.
have no
That's
idea.
exactly what happened.
But he straight up got shot on set and he died. And there's a big conspiracy theory about it, which is kind of cool. Maybe you should dive into that. I'm
oh,
not
the
gonna dive it, but
are you talking
it's
about like the curse of like the Lee family?
kind of yeah, it's people just should look into it. I don't know enough to really talk on
Right.
it and geek on it right now.
Yeah, I heard something about like there was this
But you
conspiracy
can.
That, like, I don't know a lot
I will
about it.
listen.
Right.
But like there was
Do it.
something about like something happened to like his grandfather that like cursed their whole bloodline or something like that. So when he
Yeah.
died, people were like, "Oh, it's just that curse." So
No,
I don't
I've
I don't
heard
know
that.
much about it beyond that.
Have you seen Dragon, a Bruce Lee story?
Yes,
I've
I
not.
have. I
One
have
of my
seen that.
favorite movies
That is a
of all
great
time.
movie.
You should just pull that mic closer to your face when he's not here. Yeah,
Alright.
it's already
Yeah.
tuned to you.
That's a great
So-
movie. It shows about like him getting his spine broken and then coming
Yeah.
back from it, writing his book and all that.
Which
kind of
also
stuff.
happened to
Crazy.
Batman.
Yeah, it did.
Are you
It
guys
did. Oh man.
Yeah.
are you guys karate fans? Are you guys into the old
I am.
like?
Like Karate
I can
Kid,
honestly
but, like, the old Karate Kid.
I mean, yeah, I grew up
Or
watching
like-
that. I grew
Well,
up
'cause
watching
there
Taylor,
was the
I
one
don't know
with
if you
fucking-
can say the old
Hey.
Karate Kid and be legit.
Yeah,
You saw
because
that
I've
movie.
seen like I have like the whole series. So yeah,
Talk about the one with Will Smith's kid.
yeah,
that's the one?
Jaden Smith. Yeah, I'm talking about the old one. though.
Yeah.
like the like 4 or 5
Wax
like.
on, wax off.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I've never actually seen that movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
Never seen Karate
Like
Kid.
the new one
Wait,
or the
I've
old
never
ones?
seen any of the Karate Kid movies.
How old
Oh.
are you?
26.
Maybe if you got a lot. You're on it.
You probably should have seen it by now. Man.
Oh yeah,
See-
no, for sure.
'Cause I'm not that
Dude, I'm
much older
20
than
and
you.
I've seen it.
I grew up watching those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did
Three
watch
Ninjas.
Three Ninjas. I was
Yeah.
just about to say.
Oh yeah, the kids. Yeah.
Dude,
Surf
fucking
Ninjas.
Surf ninjas.
Tum Tum.
Yes. Tum Tum. Three ninjas.
Nah,
No, actually,
don't know
like-
that one.
I'm a
That
huge
was
fan
one
of
the
like.
Three Ninjas.
Oh, that movie was great.
Yeah.
He was like using the Game Gear, and he's like
Controlling
Sega.
it.
Yeah, he was like controlling the situation, and it was telling him where all these bad dudes were. And I was like, I gotta get a Game Gear, bro.
Yeah, that's how you do
That's
it.
exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah, no,
But,
I honestly was more into like I watched like Bloodsport and like
Ooh, yeah,
you know what I'm
some
talking like
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Van
Dude.
Damme, Bloodsport, and then I watched a lot of what is that movie called? It's got Patrick Swayze in it. Oh, Roadhouse. Roadhouse.
Roadhouse
I
is
was into
good.
movies like that.
I've seen that shit off Family Guy. You know, Peter Griffin's always like a roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
When
was
he's
an
going
awesome
around
movie.
like spin kicking everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I've always been like a horror guy. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
I was really into horror
Dog
movies
wants some love.
growing up. But speaking of like Jean-Claude Van Damme, Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris. Yeah.
Chuck Norris. So there was this huge debate all the time about who would win, Chuck Norris or Bruce Lee back in the day. But if you think about it, Bruce Lee never competed. He never fought competitively. He was just like a purist in his craft. Like he just was fucking amazing at what he did. But you got Chuck Norris, who just ran through the pro ranks. I think he was like 20 plus and 0. Like the dude was just unstoppable. That's why they put him in a Bruce Lee movie.
Yeah.
So there was always that big debate. Jean-Claude Van Damme lost one fight professionally in karate, I think. And he came back, and I think he beat him for like the world championship the next year. So he technically kind of like canceled out that loss. So when you think about like old school like karate, it's pretty interesting when people have a certain point of view. I've had a guy on here, or Ricky the Karate Kid Steele. I had him on my Pro Edge podcast back before he was on the UFC, like the Ultimate Fighter show, and he like so it was the Battle of the Undefeateds, and he was on the show, got injured, couldn't fight, so he had to forfeit basically his seat in the house, I think is how it worked. But super humble guy, just had like surgery again. But yeah, dude, it's just pretty interesting. Sorry, I didn't know where I was going with that because I got distracted with his dog.
Right.
Yeah.
But karate, as far as like back in the day,
I was gonna go to karate class. Yeah, I walked in and walked the fuck out.
I think like every kid goes through a
I got
moment of like,
scared.
I want to do karate.
Yeah, well, you know, like
Yeah.
you see that shit and you're like, I want to be able to knock some fucker out like easy.
Like cold
Yeah.
And then
blood.
you walk in and you see him like, you know, and I
It's
don't know.
intimidating,
Like I had
definitely.
piano lessons too. By the way, FYI, you guys never knew this, dude. Like 3rd, 4th grade, I had piano lessons. Man, my piano teacher hated me. It was me and my brother, and yeah, well, she basically called my mom one day and was like, yeah, well, I don't want Taylor in this class anymore, but his brother can stay. And yeah,
I played clarinet. That was my first instrument. I played clarinet.
wow, that's cool.
I did it for
my
like
first instrument was drums.
I did it for like 2 months, and then I was like, band kind of sucks. Also, clarinet's not that cool. I think I'm done here. And I like talked to my parents, and they were like, you can quit. It's the clarinet. And I was like, cool.
I think I got like a, I don't know, like I think I finished band in middle school with like a D, like a 60, like 63.
Were you
Dude,
playing drums in band?
I was playing percussion.
Okay.
So bells,
Yeah.
practice pad
Triangle.
/ snare.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
triangle.
yeah. The big ass clappy cymbal things.
Uh-huh.
I didn't ever get to play those. I was kind of pissed, but no, dude, I just can't read notes, so I didn't do it, and I almost failed that class.
So you play by ear?
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
you go.
I don't think any of us actually read like music, like notes and like composition and
Hell
everything
no.
like that.
Yeah.
We basically are
like
like,
sheet
dude, that's
music?
sick. All right, let's add on to it.
I know a little bit of sheet music,
I
but that's
don't.
only
I'm not
because
gonna
of
shake
my
that F minor and add a
And
G
I'm
sharp in there.
completely
yeah.
opposite with all the music I've played. It's all sheet music. It's all like going through, learning bar by bar. Like
Yeah.
that's how I was. I've never been able to play from like the heart. And that's why I got this guitar, because I don't think it's going to be as difficult. I've been playing piano for 20 plus years, and I play classical piano, but it's not like I can just sit down and just whip out a song off the top of my head,
Right.
play it from
That's
the heart.
basically what we do.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we write our shit. Well, kind of. Somebody
Right.
has an idea.
And just kind of build off of it.
Well,
from
that's-
there.
It gets sent, and we're like, yo, what do you guys think? And then
That's cool.
whoever's like, let's add like a little bit of this or whatever, and then that gets added, and then later on the road we're like, that should change, and then
I think
that's pretty much guitars though, because basically they all play guitar.
Well, that's
I don't, so I kind of do whatever the fuck I want and
that's my favorite.
hope it sounds good.
Right.
So who starts writing the song? Like, how does it start from the bass up?
I
So
would say
it always starts with guitar.
Yeah, it's
Right.
usually
It's
Andrew or I
either
have an idea.
Kobe
Yeah.
or I will come up with an idea.
Yeah.
And then from there it'll be like, he'll call me up and be like, oh, I've got this guitar thing. What do you think? And I'll be like, oh, that's awesome. Or I'll be like, you should try it this way. Like, hit it this
Right.
way instead. And then we'll get together, like practice or whatever it is, and then start to like add on to it. Like one of the songs that's going to be on our EP, Famulous, was an idea that Kobe had like fucking 6 months ago. Like you
Really?
had it
You
for
came
a
up with that?
while.
Oh
Yeah.
no, he had
Really?
that,
Yeah.
he
He's
had
had
that
forever,
at
dude.
least
Yeah,
2 years. At
Yeah,
least
I've had that
2
riff
years
in my
ago.
back pocket for a long time, and everybody was like, or everybody was telling me like, that sounds like
Bullet for my
Bull
Valentine.
for My Valentine. And I'm like, dude, I swear to you, that's all me, bro. And then so he tried to prove me wrong, and he couldn't.
Nope.
So
So Kobe
it's
came up with
original-
that riff.
Yeah.
And then I was at your house, like we were just working on guitars for the X Games, like when we were practicing.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, so I've got this riff, and I started working on like a harmony for it, so we could have like this cool like just guitar harmony intro. I don't know, something about the beginning of that song reminds me of Iron Maiden. because there's no like chuggy rhythm guitars behind it. It's just two guitars harmonizing.
Yeah.
And so like I super dig that because I fucking love Iron Maiden. But like he and I started building on that idea, like with the harmonies and everything like that. And then once we had like the intro kind of nailed down, we brought it to practice. You weren't there. You had something going on when we first started really dialing that in.
Yeah.
But the three of us were there, and so we were like, okay, cool. What do we do after that? And so then it's just like 5 minutes of like messing around in our own little worlds, and then being like, okay, what do you guys think of this? You play through whatever it is, and then kind of get a feel for like, oh, that's cool, but like try it this way, or try to do this instead. And then we're like, okay, so we'll play that first part through, and then we'll add that second part to it and see how it flows.
And
like,
then drum wise, I go off guitars.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, cool. So
Yeah,
you got
you
this
always follow
fast
me.
ass.
You follow me, right?
It varies on the songs.
yeah.
Does it?
I mean, you know, some shit. Well, because you guys kind of switch lead and lead. You know, like
Yeah.
some song you're playing like the whole song, or some of it, and then he's some of it, or vice versa, or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just like, all right, this guitar sounds like this, and I kind of go off of one that's more, I don't know. I can't go off of like his solos. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I could, but no. That'd be
It would end up being super weird.
holy shit. And I don't think I could go fast enough. But so I kind of just go off like rhythm of the like whole song in general, and then kind of just once I basically lay down like an easy, I don't know, simple beat through the whole song, I'll go back and add whatever, and then I play it way different live.
Do you have like a big ass drum set?
Yeah, I mean it's set up as a
Really?
4-piece right now, but it's a 7 when it's fully set up. So I have my snare, my bass, 3 rack toms, 2 floor toms, and then 5 or 6 cymbals. So it's all right, but I set it up as a 4-piece because I can do rolls way faster, get around the kit way faster because everything's right here.
And most of
Instead
the time,
of
we're
right
like,
here.
Well, when you have that energy flowing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and we're playing
it's-
small stages a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So it's like we don't.
I
Really
mean,
have the
I
real
have
estate.
another kit. I have this
Yeah.
tiny ass Ludwig kit. The bass drum's the size of my floor tom on my Gresh kit. And my Gresh kit, it's Catalina maple.
It's like a pop up kit.
Yeah, I mean, I basically bought it because it was going from. I was sick of packing one kit from my house to Kobe's house because that's where we do practice. You know, I mean, when we first started, what we were doing like 2 times a week.
Yeah.
So I'd
'Cause we
basically.
had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be like it was like Mondays and Thursdays or Wednesdays or something.
Yeah. It was Thursday for a while.
Yeah.
And then it would be like sometimes Saturday, sometimes like
Yeah.
early in the week, something like
yeah.
that.
Basically, like, yo, you guys free? Let's fucking have practice.
Let's do it.
But so I was like, I hate packing this huge ass kit around. Like, if I bought a smaller one, one can stay at each place. The shitty thing is the sound difference. There's a huge fucking sound difference between a $300 kit and a $1,500 kit. So you play the Ludwig, and yeah, it's cool and everything. And then everybody's like, fuck, like, bring your other kit. We have a show coming up. We need it. Like, that's the kit you're using. It sounds way fucking better. It's louder because it's bigger. So over guitars and stuff, because I'm not mic'd up or anything at practice. They're all on amps and all that stuff. I'm just fucking banging the shit out of shit, breaking a lot
Breaking
of sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Or hitting myself in the face with them. But
Yeah,
that's only
There's
happened
that one
a couple
time
times.
when you broke the stick and the tip of it flew off and hit me in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was,
I remember
I
that.
was
I thought-
flirting without trying to flirt.
I thought somebody like spanked me in the middle of practice. I turned around. I was like, "The fuck?"
Yeah,
There's
I
a
thought you
stick.
blamed that on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a stick.
I
laying
thought for
right
sure
there.
like Kobe just walked up and like gave me a little good game, and
Yeah,
I
good
was
game,
like,
buddy.
oh, "Okay, like
Yeah.
that's never happened before."
Yeah.
And I
Right.
turned around and Taylor was just
He got a
dying
little
laughing.
excited. He got a little excited.
My
Yeah.
stick snapped in half. And
I got
going
half
for
of it.
Andrew's ass. Let's try something new.
Do sticks make a difference? Like different brands or styles? I don't know. I don't know how this
well,
works. I've never played
basically,
drums before.
so like I use Vic Firth either 5As or 5Bs.
And what does that mean?
So
Double
it's
Ds,
how
double
the
Cs.
size.
36.
So
And it's the thickness or the length?
thickness.
Brian
So
screaming again.
I mean, some of them are longer. I don't even know what to say to you, Brian. So some of them are longer.
And that just gives it a different sound, or it gives you a little
Yeah,
more room
so
to play
if you
with?
go, so you can get like Vic Firth like 5 Cs, or I think there's like ABs, and it's just they're fat as fucking heavy, so it kind of gives it that more powerful, deeper sound.
Without as much energy to like
Kind
toss
of,
into
but
it.
it's almost more energy because they're heavier. But so I use like the 5As or 5Bs. They're pretty close. I mean, you can't really tell the difference. I mean, one's coated, has like a black coating on it, so it doesn't break as easy, depending on how I'm playing. I've had a set, like a pair break, like, you know, and I get another pair, and after, I don't know, midway through a song, one of them's broke.
Yeah, you got like a brick sitting next to you when they break. Because I've seen like drummers, I've seen them break when they're playing, and then they just reach down and they've got another stick right off the bat.
Yeah, so
and I've
you
seen
can
it happen multiple times.
Yeah,
in a
so you
set.
can get this thing, it basically wraps around like your floor tom, and you just grab and go.
Got
or
it.
kind of by like your hi-hat stand. Usually I bring like 4 or 5 pairs with me and just drop them on the fucking ground.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, fuck.
And leaves all of his garbage all over my house.
Yeah, I mean,
he doesn't even pick it up.
It's not my house.
I have to pick it up
So-
every time.
Sign it, sell it on eBay, dude.
Yeah.
Somebody in
thinking?
China will think you're famous.
Yeah.
I don't
Sign it
know.
with the names from BTS, and we'll make money.
Free shipping, $20.
Yeah.
They'll buy those
Shit.
sticks.
Yeah. It's only half a stick,
Somebody
but hey,
will.
10 and 10, I can tape that shit together.
I'll probably eat with them.
Yeah, there you go. Chopsticks. Vic for chopsticks. That's the new thing.
So, how long have you guys been playing together?
Total.
That is a long. That's a long story in the
Well,
making.
so I'm the newest one to the band. So they can tell you. Yeah, they can tell you.
I think,
So-
yeah, you were Kobe
Yeah.
started out?
Kobe and I started out in a band in high school. I was in my very first band with Kobe, and then we
Never heard of it, so it must not have been that good.
No,
we-
honestly, it wasn't.
Did we introduce you guys, by the way?
No.
No,
I
probably
didn't
not.
think so. We're like 18 minutes in. So everybody who's listening still, which they are, because this is awesome, just go ahead and introduce yourselves real quick and what you do.
Okay, I'm Taylor. I'm the drummer.
I'm Kobe. I play guitar and some of the backup vocals.
Yeah, I do backup vocals too now. One song. Probably gonna be the
Only
only
one
fucking
song.
song. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm Brian. I play bass, and I also do our scratch recordings when we do like mock-up demos. That's how we did our recordings before we got Blake.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And I'm Andrew. I sing and play guitar.
That's what's up. Like lead vocals?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Lead singer, lead
Nice.
guitar.
Awesome. Okay, so now everybody knows.
Now everybody knows
who's
everybody.
talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
all right,
Surprise.
How did we start?
Then Kobe and I just kind of split ways, and we went in different bands. And then a couple years ago, Kobe hit me up to record a song. We tried something then, didn't really work out. And then about
So what?
a year and a half ago, he hit me up to record a song, and then we went ahead and just kept recording, and then we got this sexy beast right here, and then
The
we were
dog?
all-
Yes.
When'd
Yeah,
you
the
get the dog?
and then
I just met him today, or met her today.
and then we got Taylor in about February.
Nice.
Was it February?
Yeah, it's
Beginning
like
of February?
It was like the end of
Yeah.
February.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Damn.
February 10th around.
Yeah, I
there,
think it was a
time
couple
frame.
weeks before my birthday.
Yeah, we
it
went to
was.
go eat Mexican food together to meet you.
Yeah,
then
well,
my-
it was going to be IPC.
And
It
then
was,
my-
but it was so packed.
Yeah.
Then my son was sticking his fork in your plate and eating your food.
Yeah, welcome
Yeah.
to the band, bitch.
Yeah, welcome.
I wasn't
Yeah,
even.
welcome
I
to the
wasn't even
family.
fully accepted then.
Right.
And they were sharing food.
Well, what happened was, when I started writing this song, I got this inspiration. I was watching this thing on YouTube. It's called Pursuit of Tone. It actually had Tom DeLonge from Blink-182, and he was talking about like music to him was pretty much like nursery rhymes on steroids, and that resonated with me really well. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I have an idea for a song. And so I started writing this song, and that's when what Brian was saying, I was trying to get him to record it because he's the only person I knew that was like, you know what I mean? And we're homies, and I was comfortable around him, like writing this stuff, and I knew he didn't judge me. So I was like, cool, dude, like let's try to do this. But he kept like I felt like he kept putting me off, like, no, I can't do this now, or whatever. So finally, eventually, I got over there and I did it, and then we started doing more and more. And then I was like, I think we have something. And so we talked about a vocalist, and then we found Andrew, and then we got Taylor. And from there, it just kind of started going. And our first show that we played was actually at the X Games.
Yeah.
And
our
First
real
official,
show.
yeah.
And the guy that was doing all of our sound stuff, we told him, we're like, this is our first show, and he was like,
He didn't believe us.
he didn't believe us. He's like, that's your first show? Are you serious? And I was like, we're like, yeah, it's our first show. And he was like, that's crazy, because to have our first show be a stage like that was pretty cool.
Yeah, like when we were on stage, I mentioned that we hadn't played a show yet, and he came up to us afterward, and he was like, "That's just like that was some bullshit you were saying, just to like get people's attention, right?" And I was like, "Nah, man, that was legitimately our
Yeah,
first
we never
show."
played a show before
Yeah.
until here, and when we put in to play at that, we didn't have thought it would happen. We were just kind of like,
Literally,
the process.
the process was so basically we got band practice, once or twice a week, and then we're probably there for another 30, 45 minutes bullshitting.
Yeah.
I mean, right? And then
Typically.
about whatever. I mean, it ranges from, serious band stuff to
Random stuff.
whatever.
Yeah, it was
And
live.
so I think this was it was either X
Well, I mean,
Games or
like, did you
BMF.
have to apply and
Yeah.
get them,
Right.
like
so
a demo?
I think
we did.
so.
Yeah, what was the
Basically,
process?
Brian, isn't X Games the one you found on like Craigslist or something? You were like looking at
What
it.
happened? Andrew found it out on Craigslist. I almost had a heart attack when he told me, because Kobe and I grew up skateboarding,
yeah.
and so like getting to play a show at the X Games was like a dream come true.
Brian said we should all get tattoos of it. By the way, before we even played.
Yeah,
the
I
show.
did.
No
I
shit.
did.
Not even
I
kidding.
wanted to get. I wanted to get.
You guys remember that?
Get the X Games symbol. I wanted to get symmetrical X Games symbols on my shoulders, upper shoulders.
I was gonna get it on my asshole.
Didn't really have the money for that.
X
but
marks the spot, bitch.
Then yeah, but basically Andrew told us that, and then I shot an email over as soon as possible. Then we were just working things out with him, sending him videos of us.
Well, that was the thing,
Some
though,
of
is
our
we didn't have
demos.
anything, because they're
Yeah.
like, can we get you guys
Yeah.
live?
we didn't
and we
have
didn't have
shit.
anything, so we had to.
We had
my
to
wife-
basically fake it as if we played shows before to get on here. And so we gave them
Yeah.
all the information they needed, but we never directly
Well, not really.
said
Not really. Even,
Yeah.
we like played.
I mean,
a
we took
show.
a video
we never
in his-
said,
No, my wife recorded
Yeah.
us on our
Stood
phone.
there on a phone and recorded
and
us.
recorded us, and we sent them, because we literally had nothing. And so we were like, well, how do we show these guys like what we sound like? Because they want to hear us live instead of a recording, because some recordings can sound different than live, so they want to hear us both ways.
They basically wanted
And so
us to
it
prove that
wasn't-
we could play live.
Yeah,
and
it
sound
wasn't.
good.
I don't
So
think
you
it
had to
was
go
anything
perform
with-
for these guys?
No, we
No.
filmed practice one night. Basically,
We filmed it
Yeah.
in my garage with a cell phone and then sent it to
Yeah.
them. And
It's on our Instagram. Check us
because
out.
they wanted
Yeah.
video.
The
They wanted
Scavenge Reddit.
video.
Yeah.
Instead of
Facebook.
so I wouldn't really
demo.
call it lying. I would just. I mean, we didn't have anything, so that's what we had to send them. So,
So yeah, we told them
Alternative facts.
Yep,
yeah.
kind of.
basically.
But we got on there,
Not
and then
lying,
after we
they're
were
just
walking off the
alternative
stage,
facts.
when our set was, because we were the last band to play, after we were walking the stage, actually, one of the guys asked us, they're like, will you guys
wanna
come back
play
next year?
Yes,
Yeah.
we're
And we were
playing
like,
this
yeah,
year.
totally.
when
we'd
we
love to.
didn't even have. I mean, we were literally set got done. We were walking down the stairs, getting
Yeah.
our shit, and he was like, "You guys are good. Like, you guys killed it. You want to play next year? I mean, this is a yes
You
or
guys
no
were
right
automatically just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
signed
Yeah,
up.
and
And
we're
we were like the headline band of it too. We were the last band
Yeah.
to play on Saturday.
Well, there was technically another band that played after us. There
Yeah,
a
it was
DJ
that
went
DJ,
there.
There
yeah.
was Kendall.
We were the last one. Well, I mean, X Games
Kendall.
ended.
Like
I mean, X
EDM
Games
shit?
was done right when we
What?
started playing.
Yeah,
No.
that was so there was a lot of pressure on our set because we were there hanging out for a couple of hours before we actually
Yeah.
played.
Yeah.
And like there was really nobody paying too much attention to the bands. There would be like 4 or 5 people
Yeah.
up front. But then like they wouldn't really stop and watch the bands. So we find out that our set starts when the events are done.
Yeah, so that's when
So
everyone's
there's
done watching
no one else to
skateboarding.
go watch any events that are
Yes.
happening. It's just like, oh, there's a band playing. We might as well go watch them.
So we all
So we
puked a
found
little
that, and we
bit,
were like,
sucked it up,
shit.
and went and did it.
You genuinely did throw up
Yeah,
there.
Kobe
didn't you?
did. Kobe
I
did.
did
Kobe
throw
did
up.
throw
So
up.
I drank
He
a
generally
couple
threw up.
beers before
He
the
generally threw
show,
up.
and then right before we got to play, I was like, I have to scream, and if I scream right now, I'm gonna throw up my beer. So I literally had to go into like the porta potty and throw up, so that way when I got on stage and I did my screams, that I wouldn't throw up on stage. And that's true. That's totally true.
So
and
while-
now everybody makes fun of me for it.
While
like,
you
every
were
show.
throwing up,
Every show.
While you were throwing up, I was over at like the VIP tent downing another beer.
Yeah, he was.
Before we went on
Yeah.
stage.
So one guitarist has to throw up.
Yeah.
The other one just has to start drinking more.
Yeah. And I had to give my other tokens for my beers to my
That's a
wife.
give and
'cause
take.
I
was
think me
done.
and Brian were just like, this is gonna fucking happen, and
Yeah.
hope it goes
Like,
good.
Brian was with me at the tent
Yeah.
when I was getting my beer. We talked to the dudes in that band that played
Yeah.
before us.
And then we talked
Yeah,
to
those guys are
Adam
super
and
cool.
I
Ed.
got
really
there.
cool.
I
Those
used
are really
their
cool.
symbols
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah, it
nice.
was-
I
super
ran into
cool.
their
Yeah.
drummer at Barbarian a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, really?
And he like grabbed me from behind, like grabbed my shoulders, and I turned around and I was like, "Holy shit, how's it
Like,
going?"
somebody grabbed
He was
you?
like, he was still like super cool about it. He was like, "Oh yeah," and he's like introducing me to his friends. He's like, "Yeah, their drummer used our stuff at the show."
Well,
Yeah,
dude,
really
I mean,
nice
I
legend.
talked
Really
to
nice
him because
people.
I had to
Really
give
nice
him
people.
his throne and his
Yeah.
symbols, and we were talking after the show, and he's like, "Dude, you guys, did a killer show," and and I mean, they were pretty good. They were
Yeah.
kind of like a reggae.
It was like kind of surf rock.
Yeah.
It's pretty rad. I liked them a lot. I guess
felt-
their bass player quit or something like
Oh,
that.
really?
That's what I was talking to him about that night. But
Oh,
anyway,
dang.
that's neither here nor there.
I felt weird about that because when we were there playing the show, like all the other bands, like we were completely different style than everybody there, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Are you sure we're in the right place?"
Yeah.
Like because we were completely different. Everything else it seemed like it was kind of on the same genre, and then we came in and our guitars were like super heavy.
we were like
and,
the only guitars that used distortion. at the
Yeah,
event that
yeah,
day.
it was crazy,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh no!" But it
was
worked out
awesome.
so well,
Oh, yeah,
and
it was a sweet show.
It was
I wanted to.
show.
Sounded good.
Yeah.
I want to actually.
I didn't get to use my kit. So before that show, basically, Brian went down there the day before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
day before the show, and I was like, I'm not using like what kit am I using, and
Well, and didn't they tell us that you couldn't use your stuff, only to find out like the day? of
yeah,
that you
yeah.
could
So
have?
they were like,
Yeah.
basically, we have all this shit, and you're gonna use it. And I mean, it was a nice kit. It was a DW kit. I mean, I can't complain about playing on a
But
DW
the
kit.
band before us hit us up afterward, and they were like, "Hey, did your drummer bring his own hardware?" And we were like, "No." And
Yeah.
he's like, "Do you want to use ours? Because the ones
Yeah.
here fucking suck."
Yeah. Yeah, they were like, dude, the cymbals suck. The throne sucks. Some of the shit doesn't even work. I mean, I had to bring my own double bass pedal. I think that's all I
Yeah,
brought.
really-
That
yeah, it
sticks.
sticks.
Oh, no, I think I brought my snare. Yeah, I brought my snare, too. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. Nope. So, I don't remember that band's name, but shout out to
I don't
them.
know. Yeah, they were super.
For letting
super
me
Wasn't
use
it?
their shit.
Was it Zen and Lemon?
No, they were
No.
earlier in the day.
No, yeah, it was something else.
It was
I don't
somebody
remember.
else, yeah.
But
I don't remember
anyways,
their names. Super
thanks
nice
for letting
guys.
me use your shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the week after that, so we didn't have like he was just saying, we got Taylor in February. We started practicing shortly thereafter because the goal was to play live, obviously.
Right.
But we didn't really have any like openings or opportunities, and then we were like, okay, well, like maybe Boise Music Festival. We'll see if we can get our name in there. Try to get in the X Games, see how that goes. And then we found out in like the span of a week that we got accepted to both of those gigs.
Oh,
And we were like, oh
was
shit. And they were a
awesome.
week apart. So
Yeah.
one was one Saturday and one was the next Saturday.
Yeah.
And we had never played a show.
And how many songs did you guys have all together at this point to play?
Did we? We had,
had-
Silhouettes and Blackest, didn't we?
Yeah. So we like,
So, like,
that
two
was
Just had to be
songs?
alone acoustic.
yeah, that
What's
was kind
that?
of this.
You had two
No,
songs?
so we
No,
had,
no, we had
so
like
before I joined the band, they had like 9 songs.
We had,
Oh,
we had
okay.
like
Let's
a
just count.
handful of songs. We like, so here's the thing. When we first started out, we've gone through a couple of like evolutions since we've been a band. I was just going to be vocals and I wasn't going to play guitar like at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Learn something new every day.
we just kind of had this pop punk thing going on. And
So, in any of those, did you play guitar?
I did on the recordings, but I wasn't going to do it live. Like Kobe knew all the guitar stuff and he was just going to be the guitar player. We were going to get another guitar player. And then we ended up writing this song called Three Horns Don't Play with Long Necks, which is a Land Before Time reference.
Love that song.
And it was like, it was a song that I wrote about one of my friends. And I could feel that there was supposed to be like this really emotional guitar solo in the middle of it. And I was like, what if I like picked up a guitar for that song in the set? That'd be kind of cool. Because then it's like, I don't know, you watch bands and like the singer grabs a guitar and you're like, oh shit.
Like Godsmack.
He's got like more than
But-
one thing that he can do.
But he
Godsmack
picked up the
plays
guitar and
sings and drums.
he picked up the guitar and he never put it down.
Yeah, basically
He
I was
still
like,
plays.
yeah, so I was like, I'll play this song and then we'll go from there and that'll be good enough. And then the next thing I know, like we're kind of shopping it around, like maybe I can play guitar on a couple of songs. And then I was like, I'll just play
And
guitar.
it just never stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just kept going.
So we were going through that, but like I said, we started as a pop punk band, and we had a bunch of that material still.
Yeah.
But after
And like what kind of poppy punk? Like who?
Newfound Glory, kind of like a
okay.
Day to Remember, bands.
like
Blink
a Day to
182.
Remember.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
A couple stuff's pretty fast paced. Blink 182.
Like there's
Yeah.
like a punk influence.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
with the
Huge.
heavy overtone.
Yeah, heavy overtone and a bunch just fast ass.
yeah, like those songs were pretty run and gun.
Yeah.
And then we
vocals all the way through the song.
yeah,
Really
especially
from
because at the
start to
time
end,
I was
start
just
to
going to be
end.
singing, so it was like, oh, I have time to just not really worry about I need to breathe because I'm just going to be singing. Who gives a shit? And then that changed, and then those songs became really fucking hard to play and sing live. But so we had a bunch of the old pop punk stuff still, but we'd kind of switched to like a little bit of a heavier thing, a little bit less poppy, and a little bit more serious in terms of like lyrical content and stuff like that. So we had this weird mishmash for our first like 2 or 3 shows of like, yeah, we've got these songs where it's like super heavy and we're screaming, and the song's about like Michael Myers hunting down Laurie Strode in Halloween. But then also here's this like super poppy song about the bar that I work at.
Yeah.
So it was like this weird back and forth that kept
still one of
happening
my
at our
favorites.
shows.
That's still one of my favorites.
So we were like, we had this stylistic split in our set, and we tried to incorporate it so it was like not too poppy for too long and not too heavy for too long. It just kind of like there were ups and downs and valleys and shit like
But
that.
so it wasn't heavy as hell, and then go to a pop punk song, and people are like,
Yeah.
what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
Like, we kind of picked our set to kind of, like, flow, kind of like what Andrew was saying.
Yeah. Well, he
Yeah.
also bases the set on, I think, you also base it on other things too as well,
Yeah.
don't you?
Yeah, for sure. Like I'll do that song is really hard on my voice, and that song's a lot easier, so let's put that one after the hard one.
Right.
So that then when I sing this song that's hard for me to sing, I've gotten like this rest. But anyway, we had, to answer your question, we had like probably a half hour's worth of material when we got the gigs, and we were supposed to be doing like 35 to 45 minute sets. So we knew that like I needed to talk when we were on stage just to kill some time, and that
And we had to write
that we needed a couple of
2
new
or
songs.
3?
Yeah.
So we did 2 songs. We did 30 hours we wrote. Then we had, I think we finished something else, and then How to Be Alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when we did,
I think we finished Blackest.
Blackest
Yeah,
was like the
Blackest
beginning of
Eyes.
May we finished.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Because Silhouettes was right before that.
Yeah. Silhouettes was like the first song we did as a full band.
Yeah. So
So I remember getting those lyrics sent to me on Easter, having the flu, mixing that down.
And originally-
like sick as hell.
and originally, "How to Be Alone" was just an acoustic song that Andrew did by himself, so we could take a break from the set and he could do his thing. But
Yeah, we were like also trying to buy time with it because it was
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. If I play this song on my own, we don't have to worry about learning it as a full band.
right,
We don't have to worry about practicing it. I can just go up there and play it because like I had written the song just for the sake of like maybe it'll work. I was gonna cover My Heroine from Silverstein.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember that. That was sweet.
That song gives me the shivers.
But, like,
that song is.
I started thinking about what if it'd be cool to do a cover, but what if instead of that I wrote kind of like a more ballady song that I could just play on my own, and then that's how to Be Alone came around. I was at my buddy's band's house show in Caldwell, and I like had the phrase in my head, How to Be Alone, and I was like, oh sweet, I need to do something with that. So I started working on the song like a week later. But yeah, that was 2 local bands, Commonwealth and Overcast, were at that show. Shout outs to my friends in those bands.
yeah.
I just got to see Joe from Commonwealth on Saturday night. He came to the pre-funk Halloween party. He was
Oh,
like, "Where do I
nice.
know
Very
you from?"
good.
And I was like, "Oh," he's like, "We played a show together, didn't we?" I was like, "Yeah, you filled in for Whip and Shitties."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh shit, you're like you played guitar, dude. You fucking shred." And
Yeah, dude.
I was just like kind of sitting there listening to him, like trying to process. And his like girlfriend was there, and she was just watching me kind of process what he was saying, and she like took it as me being like, "Hell yeah, I shred." And I was like, "No, I didn't mean it that way. I swear."
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
That's totally
so I was
how
at
he meant it.
one of their house shows, and I came up with that line, "How to Be Alone," and then I like wrote that song, and I brought it, and I was like, "Let me give it a shot, see if you guys like it." And we were like, "Okay, cool, we'll use that." So now there's gonna be a full band version of that. That's like the guitars are changed a little bit. It's like it's not a heavy song by any means. It's still very ballady, but it's definitely got like some more chuggy stuff in it, and it's a full band representation of that song versus me just playing it on my own. So that's gonna be on the EP.
Well, and actually, on that "How to Be Alone" song, that's probably one of my favorite songs that I did the leads for. I really appreciate Andrew doing that. He got the rhythm stuff done, and he gave it to me, and he's like, "Go ham, dude. Do whatever you want to do." And so I just sat down with my guitar one day, and seriously, like 40 seconds of messing around with the lead line, I fell in love with what is now going to be our lead lines in the song.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I like about being in this band is that we talk so well together, and we're so cool with each other, and there's never like really any hurt feelings. I think that we just mesh well together when we write stuff. It just comes really natural right now. I mean, we don't have like a super like bunch of material out, but as of right now, like we can just start with something and it turns into something awesome. We haven't really gotten stumped lately. And if I get stumped writing something, I always call Andrew. I'm like, dude, I've got this line, like with Famulous. Like I had the lead line, and from there I was like, dude, I don't know where to go. What do you think we should do with this? And he's like, well, let's try this. And so we work so well together. That's probably one of my favorite things about this band. And while I'm talking, I wanted to also do a shout out to my wife, because she's a big part of this band. She helped us out so much in the beginning. She helped us with our shirts.
Yeah, she was like the unofficial band manager for like as
pretty
long
much.
as
She did.
Since
Pictures.
we've been practicing, it all started at Kobe's house, and she's always been there like taking pictures of shit.
Yeah, and every
like,
time-
trying to
Spray
pin stuff out on
painted,
Instagram.
spray painted shirts.
And every time everybody
Yeah.
comes over, she's like, "You guys hungry?" And they're like, "No." And she's like, But every time like they come over, she's always cooking or doing
yeah,
something.
there's
And
always
like,
a
"You guys
shit
want to
ton of
eat?"
food.
And no one ever does it except for me. but
But you'll get your ass kicked if you don't.
yeah, I know but no, I just wanted to tell her that I love her and thank you so much for all your support with
It's
us
their
and
ha-
what you've
it's
done.
their,
Because she took
yeah,
our pictures in the
It's
beginning.
their anniversary,
and everything.
yeah.
Yeah, it's our
anniversary
anniversary today.
today.
Yeah, 6 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're gonna
So-
throw a surprise party for him.
Yeah.
Brian,
you guys
Andrew, good with
have
that? Surprise
you
party.
guys have babies together.
Yeah, we have 3. I have a son, Owen. He's 6. He's the oldest, and then Corinne is my youngest, and she's 1, and then Ashlyn, she's 4. So yeah, 3
So
kids.
One boy, 2
Yep.
girls.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of estrogen in my house. Yeah, it's insane. That's why I have 2 boy dogs. I have 2 boxers,
There you
and
go.
that kind of helps balance it out. But it's a I don't
Owen's
know.
Owen's our little screamer though.
Yeah,
Does he play? Do you like? Does he play like baseball and t-ball and
He
stuff
plays
like
soccer.
that? Soccer.
He plays
Okay,
soccer.
Cool. Yeah, that's
And-
awesome.
and he likes soccer. He wants to play football, and every time he brings it up, my wife looks at me like he's gonna get hurt. And I'm like, seriously, like football, like come on. But it's funny because he wants to learn how to play guitar because I play. But then like Taylor will come over and play the drums. And he's like, I want to play the drums. I'm like, dude, which one do you want to start on first? Like, yeah, you can do both. That's great, but like that stuff's expensive. So and me buying my gear,
It's expensive.
so it's like which one do you want first? So he settled on guitar. He wants to play guitar first. I already have like 4 amps at my house, so I'm just gonna buy him a guitar and start teaching him the basic stuff and see what he does with it. Because he's so young now, their brains are sponges. So he'll probably be like 16 and better than me. It's probably what's gonna end up happening because he's really good at soccer. I've actually been
Eventually, he's
impressed.
gonna be like, Dad, I don't want you to teach me. I want somebody good like Andrew to teach me.
Yeah, I want Andrew to teach me because Andrew's better. Yeah,
These solos that he does, I want to learn how to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
shit, I
And,
want to
oh,
learn how to do that, and I can't. There's no way in hell.
and bringing that up, so that's another thing with Andrew and I when we play together is he's like the riff master. He does all the riffing and all of the really technical stuff. And
Me too.
when I started playing guitar, I was based around more pop punk stuff. So like the really catchy like high leads and stuff like that is kind of my forte. And I do some leads in there that aren't power chord leads, but
Right.
most of the time it is a lot of power chord leads that I like to play because I just think that gives it that little extra to the song. And that's how I write music. And then Andrew comes in, listening to like Trivium, right?
I mean-
and that's what when he was playing guitar and wanted to shred, that's who he listened to, right?
Yeah.
And so with him and I coming with our 2 different backgrounds, we kind of put that together, and that kind of where you get your guitar sounds from.
Which
And
kind
that-
of goes back to what you mentioned when we were listening to the song before we started like recording. You were like talking about the different influences, and I think that's probably like
Well, yeah,
it's
because
a
we
really good testament
Yeah,
to
because
the
we-
different backgrounds we came
right.
from.
I mean, when I started drumming, my first shit, if you guys know who this is, Rob Thomas, like Matchbox 20, Rob Thomas, was my like first
Good old match
Crush.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That was like my first. I mean, the first song I ever learned was a Green Day song on the drums. "Wake Me Up When September Ends."
that, like the tom, the doom, doom,
Yeah.
doom, doom,
Yeah.
yeah.
First song I ever learned on the drums. It was I mean, that kit. I mean, shit, you could fit it on this table. But I was like 4. So that was the first kit I learned that on, and then I basically just got bigger
That was
stuff.
like 5
and
years
then-
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But so I learned that, and then it went to like Matchbox and all that. And one of my favorite bands, Avenged Sevenfold, used to hate them. I mean, hate them. Like Nightmare would come on, and that song was like their single for their Nightmare album or whatever, right? And every time it'd come on, I was like, I'm ready to puke. This shit sucks. And now they're like my all-time favorite band, and I know a lot of their shit, And so, but I'm also drumming, if you know Neck Deep from the UK, or like State Champs, or that's pretty much it. Because it's kind of there's a lot of bands, but anyways. So, I come from I do the heavy genre, but I do like the mellow. So, and basically all that's off of guitars. So, they come up with an idea, and it's, they have their,
and you just adapt.
Yeah, they got their parts that are kind of just,
So are
How
you
to Be
usually the
Alone.
last input on the song as far as finishing up when a recording is done? Are you the last touch? How does that
You
work?
definitely can
No?
be.
No?
That's the thing about
I'm not
that's the
sure.
way that the thing about the way that we write is there really is no method to it.
You guys just
I've
give
said
input
some,
and continuously work on a song
I've said
altogether?
some stuff,
Yeah.
they're like, they're messing around with whatever, and I'm sitting back at my kit, usually I'm hitting shit when they're talking, and it pisses them off, but
Well, the clean part in Blackest Eyes,
yeah,
that was you. You had that beat.
yeah.
And we had no intentions. So we have this song called The Blackest Eyes, and it's probably our heaviest song. And
That's my
in the
ringtone,
midst
bro.
of this in the midst of this fucking this super heavy song, it was it starts out with screaming, and
Yeah.
it's super fucking heavy.
Heavy
We're
song.
practicing, and we have no intentions of putting this clean part in, or it hadn't even crossed our minds.
Yeah.
He's got this beat that he's working on, and I was like, oh shit. And I turned the distortion off on my guitar, and I just hit this D minor
I was
chord.
basically, I was just like, what if we, all of our shit, because we did Silhouettes before that, and it was all their pop punk stuff before I joined that we had before those songs, and I was like, I play everything, so I was like, what if we kind of went from this heavy ass, it's probably about in the middle of the song,
Yeah.
so I was like, what if we just did this heavy ass headbang, and it just stops, and it's just stupid mellow, but it still fits the song, and then he kind of just levels back up to heavy as hell, you know?
Yeah.
And we've done that. We have 2 more songs that have that.
Yeah,
now.
Famulous has that in it.
Famulous
Yeah.
has that in it,
does.
and I don't know. That's when people ask me what kind of music does your band play, it's like, I have no idea.
It's
Mix between, usually, if somebody asks me, I'm mix between Blink 182 and Avenged Sevenfold,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. Because some songs have more screams than others. Our newest one has one part that screams over cleans.
But now we have leads like Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently I haven't even heard it. But and then we have How to Be Alone. It's just going to be all cleans, right?
Yep.
And so people aren't going to get sick of, and it's not the whole song that screams, not other bands like Architects.
Right.
But they're literally all screams, but you can understand it.
Mhm.
It's, you have all your cleans, and you have a scream in one part of the song, and then it's back to cleans, or it's in the beginning of the song, in the middle of the song, or I think a verse in one of the songs.
Yeah, in
isn't it?
Famulous, the second verse is it's the same notes as the first verse, but we did them with clean guitars, and we changed the way that we're playing those notes.
And by clean guitars, it means no distortion.
No distortion, just
Okay.
clean,
Distortion.
jangly tones. Sometimes reverb.
Christmas music.
just raw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Raw, yeah.
cool. It's just the sound of the guitar. So do you guys have really nice equipment? I don't know how this works.
I've honestly a lot of our stuff's pretty middle of the road, except for your amp. Your amp is
Oh,
fucking
Marshall.
baller, but our guitars and stuff are pretty
I
mid-range
assume when
guitars.
you're playing for so long, you kind of build up a collection of just guitars that you're really good at playing with,
Yeah.
and you can make pretty decent guitars sound really good.
Yeah, no, for sure.
If you can play well, I don't know, but some people come in here and they play my Spin It piano. I paid $40 for it in the room right next to this, and they come in here and they play it, and I'm like, dude, that sounds amazing, and it's a terrible piano, but the way they play,
Right.
you can tell that it's they translate that emotion very well, and it doesn't necessarily need to be the best equipment to get the to get that across. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know anything about guitars. You guys could come in here with cheap shit you bought from fucking Walmart, and you could shred, and I would have no idea if that was amazing, if that amp was baller, right?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
s- I'm the drummer, so guitars, it's all them three, 100%.
Or drums. I don't know anything about drums.
Well, drum, it's kind of, I mean, like I was saying with my Ludwig kit, I mean, it's a $300 kit. You can totally tell the difference. I mean, you guys can tell the difference, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Between
Yeah.
power-wise and everything. But with a kit, it's more of, what skins you put on. I mean, it's strings, for sure, and amp, and whatever else.
So
are
can
on
you
guitars.
build?
Pickups.
So can you buy like
Yeah.
a cheap kit and then just upgrade it, kind of like
Kind
a
of.
car, and you can just add to it and make it faster
Kind
and
of.
better? Yeah,
I mean, so...
like upgrades.
Right. So you have your stock, I guess if we're talking car-wise, you got your stock hardware and, skins is what, so heads or whatever on your snares and your toms or whatever. And then you have, if it's like my first, when I really got back into drumming, because I took about a year gap when I moved in, when my dad got custody of me from my mom. I didn't have a kit for about 6 months. And he got me this gammon set, and we had to order it and shit. It was bullshit because the kick, so the bass drum, it showed up and it was cracked. So it was like a circle, and then it was flat on the top, and it sucked. And so
See, I would have no idea.
So tuning that, so because you have screws pretty much. I mean, you have a drum key and whatnot, but it's pretty much screws, and it's tightening and loosening to tune whatever drum if you want it higher or lower, but you have both sides to that drum that you have to tune. And I bought a tuner and everything, a dial tuner, so you basically just set it on the thing and it's like, here at, I don't know, like 35, so let's drop it down to like 20, and it basically is just telling you how tight it is. It was $60. I was like, this is going to change my whole kit. It's going to sound insane. Get everything even. And I used it once. I hated it. And now I just do everything by ear. But yeah, I mean, it depends on your skins is going to change how it sounds. So you can get coated skins, which are usually on snares. You can get clears that are thinner, just thick or thin pretty much. Bass drums, you can change your kick pedal. The head on your kick pedal, the head on your bass drum front and back to port. You can get little bass pads, the sticks weight-wise, and then your shitty cymbals and your nice cymbals. So,
Yeah.
I've cracked a lot of fucking cymbals in my life.
Yeah.
Just did, actually.
I was
Got to
gonna
buy a
say,
new
you
one.
just
The
Yeah.
other day, yeah.
Yeah,
You were complaining
yeah.
about it, band practice.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
get that replaced before November 16th, where you can catch us at Death Proof Coffee.
Yeah, house
Yeah.
on Fairview.
Yeah.
Yeah, playing with our friends in Sports Court, the dudes in a band called Candelier, and then another band called Faded Leroy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be a sweet show.
Yeah.
I think I may have seen somebody post that recently.
Yeah.
Has that spot been doing shows for a little bit, right?
They
Yeah,
just
I-
opened not
they
that long
just
ago.
started.
Yeah,
well,
I
they've done like a
just-
couple shows
Yeah.
though, maybe. One
Yeah,
or
I've-
Yeah.
two?
No,
Well,
my
they
buddy,
had a show tonight.
My buddy
and-
Joe's band Commonwealth just did their album release party last weekend, or last Friday. At
That's
Death Proof,
dope.
and like just looking at the pictures from like their stage setup, I haven't seen it in person yet, but it looks fucking rad.
I'm thinking
Yeah, it
about
does.
going there this weekend.
really
and
excited
checking
to play
that out
it.
because I want to, like, I don't want to walk in there and be either disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go there and because from what I've heard, isn't it like you walk in and then there's your coffee part, and then you like walk back further like to the back or
I
something?
literally have heard nothing about it. I just
No,
saw those
I-
pictures
I-
of
All right,
Commonwealth's
well,
show.
sweet. Yeah,
My
never
sister-
been there.
Yeah.
Well,
me
my
too.
sister-
Just heard of it like 2 weeks ago, but we're gonna check it out. So
My sister heard about us playing there, and she actually went there to look at it, and she was in awe of it. She thought it was so cool, and she showed me some pictures. She talked to the owner from there about it and stuff, and told her who I was, that I played in this band, and
That's cool.
he was saying he was really excited to have us there. And then she told me that the venue looks cool, like the Evolution, right?
Revolution.
Excuse me, Revolution. She said it looks, just as nice as that place, and I love that place. So I've seen a lot of cool bands, and they're like Steel Panther.
Yeah.
I've seen
At
that.
the you're talking about the Rev in Garden City?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that big?
No, just like how nice it is.
Oh, the setup.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Did
Yeah.
she say it like
There you
size
go.
wise though?
No, she didn't say anything about size wise. She just said that it was. She said it looked really nice. and
Yeah, I
it was a
might
cool
go.
place.
I'm thinking about checking it out this weekend just to see.
That's
a good
dope,
idea.
though. It's cool to have a small venue for like bands trying to just improve on getting better and better. Just because I deal a little bit with like some of the stand-up comedy around here, and I like to see the small places like coffee shops and whatnot do
Well, and
open
there's like
mic
the Olympic
nights.
downtown too.
Yeah, the Olympic's pretty sweet. I like the Olympic.
Yeah.
It's more, for me, it's more of like a date venue where I'd go with somebody to have a drink and watch a band because the floor space is so small.
Right.
I
Right.
kind of expressed this on a couple other shows. It's just tough to get like metal bands in there because it's such a high energy environment and you don't have as much floor space, and it's so much dedicated to like the tables and the bar stools
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Basically, when you run out of seats, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. But it is a dope venue.
and
I
it's-
really do
I mean,
like
it's a
it.
decent size. I mean, I
And-
thought the stage, because we played there.
was in
It was
July.
July 24th.
Okay, you got the date. Damn. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So when we played there,
Brian knows it all.
I thought it was gonna be kind of like a small venue, small stage, and I was like, damn, do I need to bring like my smaller kit? Like, what do we need to do? And and I was impressed with the size. I mean, it was a pretty good size for us four.
Yeah.
Have you guys
Yeah,
played
we were
the
comfortable
Shredder?
up there.
We haven't played the Shredder
We
yet.
have not played the Shredder yet.
We have tried
I
to
like
get a hold
Shredder.
of them numerous of times. We never get anything back from them.
Dang.
Yeah.
Now we're just gonna have to show up there and be like, what the?
I actually had never been to the Shredder until I saw
Neither
Blake's
have I.
band there a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'd never
Yeah.
been.
We were Giants. We'll give him a shout out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, boy. So
Yeah.
we got this guy back here, everybody. His name's Blake. He just helped them produce your newest single.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
single, and so we've actually been working with Blake for about like a month and a half now, recording our like debut EP. Because like Brian mentioned earlier, we've done like a ton of recordings and like a ton of demos and things like that, just so we can have like something for people to hear. But it ended up getting to a point where we were like, we want to do something that has like production value behind it, not to like knock anything that you've done, because you've done an amazing job with what you've put together for us. But we knew that like we were kind of restricted by the equipment that we have and things like that.
We
So
needed that extra step, that
Yeah.
extra thing, and
and like
where-
so right after we played Boise Music Festival, Blake came up and he was like, "Hey, do you guys want to record an EP?" And we were like, "Fuck yeah!" So we started talking about like pricing and everything like that. And so we were like, all right, this is going to be the tentative start date. Let's take August to just write, because we don't have like a full EP's worth of material. In
Of our
this-
new stuff.
Yeah, in like this direction that we've decided to go. So we took August, then we wrote a bunch of stuff, and then we started like middle of September-ish. And yeah, Blake's been there, recording guitars, bass, helping program the drums, if not just programming the drums, and helping me with a ton of the vocal stuff. Like it's been fucking awesome to go over and like lay down vocals, because I'll have like all of the main vocal melody written, and I'll know because that's all I have to sing live. So that's usually what I'm most concerned with. But then like some of the glitter and everything like that goes on, like the vocal harmonies and things like that. I'll usually have a couple of ideas for that too, but Blake has such a fucking fantastic ear for like a harmony could go here and this is what the harmony should sound like. So he'll kind of like hum it for me, so I get the notes, and then he'll help us like incorporate that harmony into the song when I go to actually sing it. Or like last night we decided that we wanted to throw this constant whoa over the chorus of our song Famulous, and I was like, I want to try it, so like let's figure out the notes. We figured out the notes, and then we like laid down the harmonies for it. So he's been fucking awesome to work with. Whether it's just like challenging us to be like, that sounded good, but I know you can do it better. Or whether it's been things like, just giving a creative input, like, what if you tried this here? If like Kobe and I have a guitar idea and he wants to play it a certain way and I think it should go a different way, then we'll be like, okay, Blake, what do you think? And he'll be like, I think either way sounds fine. Let's just try it this way and see how it goes. And like, there's never tension there in those moments, but if there was, he would totally diffuse it in that situation. But it's nice to have somebody else to turn to that's like unbiased and not in the band, that also doesn't have their own like love for whatever that part is. Because like if you write something, you're passionate about it, and somebody else might not be passionate about it the same way. So like if I have an idea, I think it's like the best idea, and if Kobe has an idea, he loves that idea. So to turn to Blake and be like, hey, you're not even in this band, like creatively from the perspective of just the song, what do you think meshes here? And he'll tell us, and like I think the songs are better for it. But yeah, so he produced our single 30 Hours, and he's doing the production for the entirety of the EP. Which is going to be 6 songs in total. It's just going to be an intro track, which kind of builds off of some of the themes that are laid out in our song Silhouettes. And then it's going to kind of fade into Silhouettes. And then we've got 3 other songs, or 4 other songs that are going to be on there. And yeah, it's been a really fun process. It's been really challenging in a lot of ways, but it's going to be worth it by the time that it's actually like done.
That's going to sound awesome. Just like 30 hours. Blake has done a fucking phenomenal job.
Yeah, I told Blake actually yesterday when I was doing vocals for Famulous, I've got a buddy that's done like audio engineering and like production for like 15 years or something like that on all analog equipment. So like that's his world. He knows that. And he usually hates like digitally recorded music just because he's biased. He records on analog, whatever. He thinks it sounds better that way. But he heard 30 hours and he's like, holy shit, this sounds fantastic. And I was like, yes, that guy liked it. And he's like the hardest person to please when it comes to recording music on a computer versus using like a giant mixing board and like tape decks and shit like that. So I was really excited. Like that's a testament to, I think, the way that this is all sounding so far. And that's solely because of Blake.
So thank you.
Yeah.
No problem, guys.
Yeah. There he is.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah.
So with vocals, where do those come into play? How, like, is it something that you're just writing continuously and you think certain vocals would mesh well with what you guys are collaborating on at the time? Or do you have, like, how does that work?
I think a lot of the times, I think we get like a lot of the guitar stuff done first, don't we?
Yeah.
And then he kind of goes and writes his stuff. And I've been eager to get in on some of that. I really want to with some of the writing of the vocals and stuff like that. But it's funny because he's just so good at writing. Like honestly, when we put songs together, when you just hear the music without the vocals, you're like, this is all over the place, right? And then he goes and does
Like
his thing.
30 hours when we first did it.
Or even Famulous.
To me.
Famulous is like the one that comes to mind like instantly. And then he puts his vocals to it,
a
and
pretty
it's like
technical
boop,
song.
perfect. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it just flows with the vocals that he writes to it. So that's a really cool thing that he does with his vocals, but I don't know.
As far as like the writing is concerned, we'll be like riffing and coming up with all these different parts and everything like that as we're practicing. And then just naturally, because I've been playing guitar and basically singing since I started playing guitar. It was like I started learning the two at the same time. So when I was writing, like if I've made a 3-chord like punk song, I immediately had melodies to go over it just because I was like thinking about both worlds at the same time. And so now it's like we'll be working on these riffs and I'll be kind of like coming up with ideas in my head. And then usually it's like when we finish a song, when we have like the basic skeleton laid out, it's a rush for me to get home and get it tabbed out so that we have like a playback MIDI version of it so we don't forget what the fuck we wrote. But once I have that, like that version that I can listen back to, then I can start thinking about like, I'll just start humming along. And like Kobe mentioned like wanting to be part of that creative process. It'd be so like terribly fucking embarrassing for me. Because most of the time when I'm coming up with these things, we'll have like the guitar going on, I'll just be like, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do, and then I'll go back and like listen to it and start putting words into those like pockets of melody. Mm-hmm. And so usually it's just like fucking gibberish. And like I have recordings of me on my phone from like when we were writing Silhouettes. And it's just like I listened back to it the other day and I was like, that's fucking bad. Like it's just like it looks like a madman that doesn't know words.
Right.
Like just babbling as he plays guitar. But then after that's done and we have like these melodies coming up, then I'll start to piece words into it. And usually it's a matter of like I'll find a theme or something that's happening to me or somebody else in my life. And then once I have like a basic subject, then it all starts to come together. I'll start thinking about like I always think of lyrics as like as kind of like almost a movie where like you need an introduction that kind of sets up the basic themes. You need a chorus that kind of it's almost the movie title. If you think about like the title of the movie, then you know what it's about. So the chorus kind of recaps that. It's almost like a thesis statement in like an essay. That's how I feel about choruses. And then like the second movement should be like, where did that first idea from the first verse progress? Where did that lead? What happens in the bridge? Is that like the third act? Is this like when shit starts to hit the fan in whatever the lyrical content is? And then how is that resolved in the last chorus? Do we need to change the way that chorus sounds to give it this kind of a vibe? Or is it fine the way that it is? So I always think of it that way. I'm like, I want to start out with something that like lays out the thought. The chorus reiterates whatever the general theme is. Second verse builds upon the first one. Bridge is like where everything kind of either falls apart or comes together depending on the song and like what the lyrical content is. And then the last chorus is typically like the resolution of whatever it is. So like the Blackest Eyes, for instance, it starts out like the song is about the movie Halloween and like Michael Myers and that whole thing. So the song starts out with like these lines about Michael Myers finding Laurie Strode in like a hiding place. And him like bargaining with her, like, no, like I'm gonna kill you. You have to come with me.
Dude, that's so dope.
And then, right? So then,
like,
the
you're
chorus,
literally singing about the movie.
yeah,
Yes.
Oh, that's so dope.
yeah. So like,
I got that song and 30 Hours mixed up about what it's about. Oops.
yeah,
Oh,
when
yeah.
we were getting the art done for 30
Yeah,
hours.
yeah.
This
I
dude,
was, yeah.
this artwork guy, artwork with a Q, hooked us up with some really cool artwork for it. But there was like a huge misunderstanding right when we needed the artwork.
That was my fault.
This is like Taylor was talking to
My
him.
bad.
And,
Kind of reminds me of
I was like, you want
Austrian
me-
Death Machine.
I was
kinda.
like, I was like, you want me to like, I can give you the lead singer's like information. You can talk to him. It's basically about this, which I said it was about Halloween. It's fucking not. Fuck me.
so we
sorry.
get this art, and it's like this chick with like blood on her face.
It
and
looked
she's
like a
screaming in
fucking
terror.
zombie, and I was like, what the fuck? And Andrew's like, dude.
He's like, did you tell him the movie's about, or it's about the movie The Crow? And he was like, no, I told him it was about Halloween. So
He's like,
we messaged
basically,
the dude back
he
and
thought-
It was like the opposite.
Yeah. Well, fuck. I don't write the lyrics. I just bang on shit and hope it sounds good. Like.
So I ended up like taking Taylor's phone from him, and I'm texting the dude like,
I was
hey,
like, here you go, dude.
sorry for the misunderstanding. This is what the song's actually about. I understand this is a huge fucking ask. Is there any way that you can like get something that's based on this to us by Tuesday? And he was like, fuck yeah, dude, no worries.
Yeah, we got
So he
it
was-
the Monday
That's
before
super-
we released
he
the song.
did a huge favor there.
So a couple days ago, we got the artwork, and then a couple days ago, we released the song.
And
Yeah.
it looked and
And it was
it's
for
on
what
Spotify
came up.
Now.
Yeah, Spotify. It's on all the
It's on
platforms.
Spotify.
Go
check
Amazon
it out.
Music,
dude.
But
iTunes soon.
Yeah.
People say to me.
basically, yeah, my bad. But we probably could have had
you see
something
that?
cooler sooner. But Andrew basically was like, it's the drummer's a dumb fuck. Listen to me now. And this is what it's about. And he came up with this artwork, and it's pretty sick. To
pretty
come
accurate.
up with
What?
what, less than a week, about a week. It was
Well,
about a week he had, right?
Yeah, so it was
my wife
Wednesday,
told
and we
me
had
that
it by
guy got top
Monday.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and for it to totally change the whole thing
Yeah, like he scrapped his initial idea. He just
Yeah,
like he went with the theme of like,
for what we got, it's pretty sick.
yeah, he did a really fucking good job. Huge
So,
favor for us to like
yeah,
knock it out that
for
fucking
sure.
quickly.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so like lyrics, it just depends on like the song and what general vibe is happening with the music, and that kind of will shift it. Like Famulous has these moments of like it starts out kind of frantic,
Yeah.
and then it like goes into this like super clean section in the middle of it, and then like there's like the heaviest breakdown that we probably have in that song.
That
and so
I
it's-
came up with the idea with
Yes.
double as a bullshit, like, oh, what if we did this? And it's just
He was
really
totally
fast
joking.
double
Yeah.
bass.
He was totally joking, and it like totally worked.
off.
Now I'm like,
Yeah.
now I have to pick where we put that song because, damn, it's
Damn.
fast.
Probably at the end where he's
It's gonna be awesome.
give everything he
Yeah.
has.
Hell yeah. Well,
It's
shoot, man.
fast.
I don't want to cut this short, but I know we've got your anniversary. We don't want
Right.
to keep you too long.
Yeah.
But we can always do a round two before your next show. So let's get some shout outs. Tell people where they can find you and when your next show is so we can promote that, and then we'll wrap up. We'll get Kobe off to his date night with his old lady, and we'll finish out with a quick little solo here. So anyways, what are your shout outs?
Yeah, so we're on Instagram and Facebook, The Sky Burns Brighter, one word, no like underscores or spaces or anything like that. We're now on Spotify as of today. 30 Hours, the single is on
Congratulations.
Spotify. Thank you.
Yeah,
We're really
thank you.
excited about it. YouTube is just The Sky Burns Brighter as well. Next show is November 16th, which is a Friday.
Yep.
At Death Proof Coffee in Boise. Like I
Starts
said,
at 8, doors
Yep.
at 7.
Yeah,
Doors at 7.
It's on
$5
if
per
you-
person, all ages.
If you find our Facebook or Instagram, all the details are on that for that show.
And you can go to the event page and make sure, Mark, that you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get a lot of people there, guys. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same night as what show is happening that night?
Oh yeah.
Don't tell him.
No,
Don't tell him.
No.
There's a huge band that's playing a show at the
Huge band.
Revolution
So
that night.
at the Revolution that night, it is a show that you guys should totally not go to and go to ours. I'm just kidding. It's Good Charlotte, Knuckle Puck, and
Isn't it Sleeping with Sirens?
Sleeping with Sirens.
Oh, I like Sleeping with Sirens. Yeah.
So
Not on the 16th. You don't.
I mean, you can go there and check them out and drink alcohol, or you can come and check our show out and drink coffee and have more energy without a hangover. Ha. That's
But-
Good way to put
yeah.
it. Good way to put it. Yeah.
That is a
Hell
good
yeah.
way to put it.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I wanted to go to that show too.
we're still
I
working
freaked
out
out.
the details to figure out a show for our EP release.
Yeah, we want to do an EP release show. We had an opportunity that was going to be cutting it just a little bit too close for us to be like super comfortable with committing to that date.
And when can people kind of expect your EP to be dropped?
I would ballpark it early December,
Yeah.
mid-December at the very latest.
Okay. Yeah.
Sometime around then. We were going to do like a early January release and just put it in 2019 because we wanted to avoid like people being distracted by the holidays and like maybe it flying under the radar because people have so much going on during that time. But we're like knocking it out a little bit quicker than I think we thought we were going
Planned
to.
on to, yeah.
So it's kind of at a point now where we're like, oh, we could potentially wrap this up in the next month and just put it out. But there's also things like, we need to worry about getting it printed, getting artwork done for everything like that. So just to be on the safe side, early to mid-December.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. All right. Well, shoot, I think we got everything covered. Once again, everybody, this is The Sky Burns Brighter from Boise, Idaho. We're going to sign off. Make sure you show up to their show on November the 6th.
16th.
16th.
There you go.
Got it.
16th,
Friday
I
night.
knew there was a 6 in there somewhere. And have a wonderful rest of your day.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man.
Thanks.
For
Thank you.
sure.
Cool.
Lock it up and try to suffocate these feelings as another page gets filled with fake poetic grieving. I try so hard to bleed for you, but nothing's left of me, and soon enough you'll come to know what I am really. A fractured fake, a fucking fraud, and I am empty. Through the years I've come to show that I know how to be alone. It's not a choice, but a part of me that I can't seem to change. And I guess that's who I am, someone that's just deranged. Away it goes, another waste of such potential. I wish I cared, but I don't feel so sentimental. I've seen it all, I've watched it fall. Now I am vacant. Through the years I've come to show that I know how to be alone. It's not a choice, but a part of me that I can't seem to change. And I guess that's who I am, someone that's just deranged. I never wanted to be so isolated, but somehow I feel free. I've become with what I have. I'm content with my solitude, and there's no turning back. Through the years I've come to show that I know how to be alone. It's not a choice, but a part of me that I can't seem to change. And I guess that's who I am, someone that's just arranged.
That was so sick.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Thank
No worries.
you.
Thanks for having us
Appreciate
again.
you.
Super appreciate it.
Yeah. Have a great night, everybody. Fuck.